Hello and welcome to the Biante Collector's Corner Q&A edition. With this episode we're going to try and answer a few of the questions that you guys posted on both YouTube and Facebook from our first crack at this.
Yeah.
We hope that this episode will be as informative to you as the last one, and as I say, hopefully answer some of your questions. I'm William Hall, General Manager of Biante Model Cars, and this is one of our research gurus, Jules. So welcome back, Jules.
Thanks, mate.
Thought straight off the bat we'd head into 2013 V8 supercars. Many of you ask us about our V8 supercars and why we haven't done some of our older generation cars that we'd said that we were going to release. So here we go. Here's the 2013 car. So you can see we're well on our way. We've got the Jason Bright car, Fabian Coulthard, Shane Van Gisbergen, the last car that Webby drove in the full series, and Russell Ingall's first retirement car, because he's had a few of those. Bright car comes with the JR Trophy, so we've got them all basically ready to go. What we do now is essentially we're in Chinese New Year. So once Chinese New Year's over, these guys will start to hit production, mixed in with a few of the 2015 cars that we're still yet to release. But they're on their way.
Yeah. Finally getting to them.
Finally getting to them.
Yeah,
that's the most important thing. In our last video too, we suggested and hinted that we'd have some better samples of our VN. So in particular, our Brock VN. So Julian, what have you got to show us?
So yeah, we've got a couple here actually. The long-awaited, much maligned, and yeah. So this is it. So this is as close to sort of production quality as we're going to get at this stage. There's still probably a good 15, 20 sort of changes that we have to make. But essentially this is what the production should look like. So it should give you a good idea of the quality in the end. So it's been a long haul, but we've finally got to this stage.
And I guess one of the things that, again, we can't sort of show you too much on camera here, but definitely once it's in store and once you've got your hands on it, you'll really notice is the Tampa printing. So the previous false start that we had, essentially, all the mobiles, all the 05 on the roof, everything basically was a decal. And while there's nothing necessarily wrong with decal, we just felt that with this particular car, it was important that we went that extra little step and made sure that we had them done as Tampa printing. It's one of the most iconic, but at the same time one of the simplest liveries that we're ever going to put on a model car. So there's just no reason why we couldn't do it with Tampa printing.
Exactly.
On the versus side, something like this where you've got some checker plate print in the livery itself. There's just no way you can do that with Tampa printing, but with something as simple as these Brock mobile cars, I should say.
Has to be Tampa.
Has to be Tampa. So that's the 05. What's this little...
We've brought a little bit of a sneak peek here today. Because of all the delays with the 05 and the Brock car, it's given us a little bit of time to work on some more VNs, one of which will be the Perkins Madeira, the sister car to the Brock. And yeah, it's basically essentially the same car. There's a few little differences going on. Obviously, the numbers, the driver names, a few aerials, and a few little issues like that. But yeah, it will be our second addition to the Perkins collection. Yeah. And yeah, just a good opportunity to show you guys something new that we haven't announced yet.
And they look pretty good together.
They look fantastic together, actually. Yeah. So yeah, we're really looking forward to getting that one out as well.
So as we said in the first video, this one in particular is sort of ready to go into production in the not too distant future. Again, sort of as we come out of Chinese New Year. So we're looking at kind of a mid-year release, I would have thought, for the Brock car. The Perkins car, we'll keep our powder dry on for a little while. Probably announce this one towards the end of the year. But again, that's nearly ready for production too. So once we go to the order form process, we'll set our production number and then we'll get this one into production as well. All right, so moving on to some more of your questions. Tim and Steve on Facebook had asked us about 64ths. Tim in particular with our V8 Supercar program, and we hinted at that in the last video as well. But Steve's more interested in some of our older generation of cars. So what have you got on the horizon for 64ths, Jules?
it's looking like we're finally going to get back into the 64 market, which is fantastic, and I know it's welcome news for a lot of you guys out of there.
Is that why I'm holding this?
That's why you're holding it, yeah. You got a yellow glow version there, and essentially this is exactly like all our other 164s we released, so it's the high quality paint finish parts, they're all there. I mean, the only probably difference you'll see from these ones is the side stripes will be black, and you'll have side mirrors and stuff like that, so the detail and quality is just as good as we've always done with 164s. But yeah, we've just been negotiating for years now with factories and so to try and get get it back into the market and get a competitive pricing again. And we think we're just about there.
We're nearly there.
Yeah.
We're nearly there. So, one of the differences that you will note is packaging. And again, this is one of those cost things that really this shouldn't affect whether we do this, but it has done in the past. So packaging will be sort of what you've come to expect traditionally. There's some slight variations in it. Won't have the acrylic case, for instance, but in terms of look and feel and being able to stack them with all your others and things like that.
Yeah, it's exactly the same dimensions. In fact, this is exactly the same box as the old Perspex case style as well.
Yep.
In order to get a competitive price point, we've had to adapt a folding plastic version, so they're still just as good in the packaging. And
will look as good.
They will look as good. So we're pretty pleased with it. And if it's as far as sacrifices go to try and get them back into the market, we really didn't want to sacrifice on the quality of the model. It was thought, okay, maybe we can do something different with the packaging and the casing. So that's
because at the end of the day, this is the most important bit.
Yeah, exactly.
So we want to try and do the model justice. In terms of V8 land, that would be this little sucker here. So already well on our way to, as you can tell, to producing our Commodore supercar. We're not sure that we'll do this livery. This was obviously the first decorated sample just to make sure that the factory was up to it and that we can produce the quality and price, etc. that we want. So we'll start the process with this year's cars, the 2016 cars. As I say, may not do this livery, but if we get enough comments and likes and what have you in this video, then maybe we'll go back and do the Townsville livery as well. Again, packaging will be slightly different with these, but we'll keep that one under our hat for a little while. But just something different that we've not seen in the market before.
Yeah.
Next thing's probably in terms of questioning that we got a heap of questions about, but Damien in particular had asked about, and that's the Anzac cars from 2015. So here's one I prepared earlier. Essentially, this is a licensing issue. We're working with the RSL at the moment. We had to essentially make some samples so that they knew what we were talking about and that we were going to represent the logo, etc. in the correct way. So samples are here. As soon as we've got approval to do the cars and release them out to market, we're set to go. So they'll be ready for production, and hopefully once we can get that license approved, we're good to go on those. Next one's a bit of a show and tell type scenario.
Yep.
Mark's asked us why we haven't produced any VC and VH Brock Commodores.
Yep. And he said yet, which is exactly where we're at.
Just yet. They're coming.
I do have something pretty exciting to show you guys. Just bear with me. So this is the first shot for the VC HDT.
Ta-da!
Ta-da, yeah. So been a long time coming. Been working on it for quite a while. So yeah, it's pretty exciting actually. It's the first sort of brand new HDT road car we've done for a while. We did the BKSS Group 3 LE
couple of versions,
that was kind of like nothing particularly new. It's existing tooling and everything.
Yep.
So this is completely new. Obviously it's based on the SLE as a base model, but a ton of new parts. So you've got new wheels, the famous amateurs, the flares, the front spoiler, rear spoiler. For the train spotters there's a bit of a roll cage in the interior, so that'll give you a bit of a hint of what else we've got to come. But yeah, so really exciting. Hopefully it'll be out this year. There's quite a bit of work to do on this, so this is a really bit of a rough first shot, but a good base to work from. So yeah, hopefully that's welcome news for a lot of people.
So that's just something a little bit different that hopefully we're going to, as I say, or as Jules says, to release the first one before the end of the year. That's definitely the plan, but still plenty of work to do. As we said in the first video, these cars take so long to produce and get them as accurate as we can. So that's the key. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
So it might be a little while before you see
time,
this.
We'll get it there for sure.
But we've got something. It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
Jamie asked us, sort of in the early Commodore realm, Jamie asked us about the Perkins 86 and Grice 87 cars.
Yeah.
So some of it is actually sitting here in this.
Tied up with this kind of project, yeah.
Yeah, but unfortunately in the process of some factory moving and some factories no longer with us, we've actually lost some of the tooling to be able to do those 2 race cars. So it's still definitely in the pipeline, and it's definitely something that we're going to do, but at the moment we're kind of focusing on this project at the moment. As we say, it kind of shares a little bit of tooling and what have you, so concentrating on this one. Then as soon as we've got that one out of the way, then we'll go back to those VK and VLs, fix up that tooling, maybe do a little bit more tooling that we haven't done before, and try and get those cars plus some others out as well. So again, work in progress, guys. We're trying to get it.
Yeah, some just crucial tooling there we has been misplaced, so we'll get it back and we'll get them out.
We want to do it right. We don't want to do it wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the important thing.
Yeah,
one other question, and the last one we'll cover off in this episode, was Phil Only on YouTube had asked us about the Xbox Commodore that 888 ran at Bathurst a few years ago with a couple of Europeans in the car. He actually answered his own question about licensing, and yeah, unfortunately that one's all tied up in licensing. While we've got a mould and all those sorts of things, it's why we don't do Red Bull cars now. There's obviously contracts in place with other manufacturers, with other teams, etc. So that one's all locked away, and unfortunately it probably won't be done in the near future, certainly not by us. All right guys, that's enough for us. We want to make this one a nice and quick one. So any more questions that have come up out of this, again, social media, on the Facebook, on YouTube, we'll try and answer as many as we can whenever we can, and a new episode will come up fairly shortly with our new releases for February, March. So stay tuned for that one. Thanks guys.